Hi everyone, welcome to DIY Ideas. Today I'm going to show you how to make this little origami style baggie for your gifts or anything else. So stay tuned. Here is everything that we're going to need for today. So I'm going to show you what I have here. So first of all, fabric scissors, something to measure with, some pins here, a hand gauge as well as measuring tape, some fabric chalk, and thread matching your fabric. So then as far as the fabric goes, I have here something out of cotton, and then for the inside, just anything that I found lying around. So here you can of course do anything that you prefer. You can do exclusively cotton or something else that you have and really want to use. Just make sure that it's not too thick and you'll be just fine. So you can of course work with some thin fleece really well. So here is an example that I have. So depending on what you want to use it and what your style is going to be. So here I have some band to tie it up when I'm done. So here I have some decorative one. You can of course use rope or lace or anything else that you like. So here I have a decorative star, and this is of course optional. So first we need to cut our fabric to our desired size. So my outside is going to be the floral pattern and the beige is going to be for the inside. So my size is 40 times 40 centimeters, and that's for small to medium sized gifts. So this is of course completely up to you. You can do very big ones, even smaller ones. It all depends on what you want to put on the inside. So when you cut it out in a square shape, then we can get started. So now our next step is to put our two pieces of fabric pretty side on pretty side, and then we're going to start with the stitching. So of course we need the one side to be open or a little bit of it so that we can turn it inside out, but then I'm going to show you how to fold it later properly. So what we're going to do is basically a straight stitch along all of the edges. So you can do a zigzag stitch to prevent fraying if you'd like to. So now that we connected both of the inside and the outside fabric, here you can see a straight stitch that I did and then a seaming zigzag stitch to make sure it doesn't fray. I left a little opening here on the corner so that I can turn it inside out. So I also recommend cutting off the leftover bits of fabric on the corner so that it looks nice and neat, and then when you turn it inside out, you can close this or sew this opening up so that you don't have a hole later. So just a regular straight stitch. You can of course do it by hand as well, but that's up to you. So before we close up this little hole, we need to make sure that all of the edges are nice. So I'm just gonna make sure that I cover everything, that I take a look at the corners so that they're nice and turned the right way around. So here you can see how it kind of got stuck in there. So with a regular pencil or with your scissors while they're closed, you can do exactly that, and then I'm gonna make sure that everything's nice and straight, and then I'm gonna iron over this so that everything stays in place. So now that I close the opening up, you can see here that the stitch is almost invisible. Of course, you could have done it by hand and then hidden the stitch, but I think this looks just fine as it is. So you can see here how lovely this looks when we ironed over it. So it's really straight, it looks really cool. So now what we're going to do is take this little corner and fold it to the outside fabric like this. And now we need to make sure that we measure everything out so that we can have the exact same thing on all of the corners. So I have here approximately 36 centimeters in length after I did the stitches. So now what I'm going to do is take a third of that, so that's 12 centimeters, and I'm going to mark there. So I have here my fabric chalk, you can use anything else as well, and I'm going to mark a little square 12 centimeters from each corner. So now we're going to fold it up to that mark. There we go. So that's going to be our pointer, and then we're going to do the same on the other sides. So now that we marked every corner, we can get to the folding. So we're basically going to go with the corner up to the little mark that we did. So align the two lines with the corner, and then you can pin it to keep it in place. So now that we did the corners, we're gonna sew over them to keep them in place. So that way we're gonna make sure that all of them stay the exact same size. We're also gonna do the edges here so that they stay straight. So I'm basically just gonna go around this octagon that we have now, and I'm basically gonna do a straight stitch across, and I'm gonna do all of the edges about a centimeter or two away from the edge, and that way we're gonna have a little tunnel later that's gonna be a place for our band or rope. Now that we did the edge all around with the stitch, we can basically start with our band or rope or whatever you want to use. So you can of course do a double stitch if you want to make sure that everything stays in place and doesn't rip. You can also secure the stitch on each transition from the corner to the other side, but that's completely up to you. So here, as you can see, we did a little bit more of the distance so that our band can go through. So your extra stitch would be on the other side of that so that we don't mess up the little tunnel that we did. So with these sections where you turn the fabric, make sure your needle stays in the fabric. That's really important and makes it a lot easier. So now that we're done with this step, we can get to our band. So I have here my safety pin, and I'm going to push it through basically all of these 4 little sections so that it's right where it's supposed to be. So now that we have the band in place, we can turn this inside out. And now you can see what I meant with the origami style, especially when I pull it all together. So you see here we have these little blossom shapes. I actually like the way it looks like a flower. So you can tie it here, you can do a little bow if you'd like, you can keep it open, that's completely up to you. So you can see here the finished little gift bag that we have. So I hope you guys like the way this looks. I'm really satisfied. Let me know how it went if you try it. And if you'd like to see more, feel free to subscribe to our channel. You can also click on the notification bell, and that way stay updated with every new video that we post. If you like this particular video, you can let us know by shooting us a thumbs up. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope to see you in our next project. Until then, have a great day. Bye!